Um, Taking it from where we left off yesterday with using ChatGPT and Windows File Explorer to create a good organizational system. I started working today in between doing some spray painting, dealing with administrative stress, and there's a bit of a gap. Don't know if you can read that here, but this is my list. Somehow or another, there are a couple of folders missing, uh, zips. And so I made a list, and part of the process has been that I have gone into the recycle bin in OneDrive. I got this email message warning me that I'm deleting tens of thousands of files, and this is how to restore them. And so what you do is you click on the go to recycle bin in that email and you step in here. And so what I found was some of last night's, which were not anything that I wanted to restore. But if you do want to restore them, this would be restoring the zip, and this would be restoring the extracted zip. So I went through, and on my list, I need to download numbers 1 through 27 again. I can't remember what happened exactly, but I think it was an issue of, oh yeah, this was because the nested file system was confusing Windows File Explorer. So it told me that these 27 extracted zip were all empty, which at first glance it looked like it was just the nested structure. And then I asked ChatGPT about it and it tells me, yeah, it's the nested structure. But in reality, the problem was a little more complicated than that. So I'm going to pause for a second so that I can show you ChatGPT's response to what was going on at that point. So there were two levels of problems with nested files. Like, and so there are like JSON and metadata files. And so the problem with how chat did not recognize how deep into the nesting system we needed to go to make sure that I was deleting the right thing began with this question regarding Google Download. Inside each extracted zip, there is a folder called USB and external devices, full of placeholders. Is this something ignorable to the end, like JSON? And so the JSON files are going into the miscellaneous along with anything that's not an image file. So in the miscellaneous file, we have the MP4 files, we have audio, so we have audio, video, all going into the miscellaneous file, along with any kind of text docs, PDFs, and finally these JSON. So the problem came up when I asked, is it okay to ignore for now? So yes, it's okay to ignore for now, and it explains about placeholders. Leave it, don't process, treat just like JSON. If folder looks empty or irrelevant, skip the folder. The problem is this wasn't exactly the full scale of it. So later, let me see if I can find it. Just give a sec. In the extract Google Zips, move images into image master. Okay, that's not it. Let's keep going. I'm going to pause the recording again while I locate the problem that I want to show you how to avoid. So here's the beginning of where I started to go wrong with my folder extraction communication. I told ChatGPT I just opened a zip and it only contains placeholder files. What should I do with these? I can give you an example of this. Uh, let's go to download 11. This Google Takeout file is empty. It's not necessarily a good thing. Let's see if this is happening again. Okay, with number 13, we have the takeout. We have Google Photos, the first layer of the nesting. And then that opens up here. It appears all of these are empty because File Explorer is telling us that there is nothing in the size bin. That gives the impression that there's nothing there. So chat tells me do nothing with this. What this means, that zip contains no real files, only placeholders, references, empty structure. Do this. Close it, delete the extracted folder, and optional, delete the zip. So at this point, what I did, I closed folders 1 through 27. I deleted the extracted folder, and instead of optionally deleting the zip, I deleted the zip. Because at another point in the conversation, chat will tell you to aggressively observe preserving as much space as possible. I can give you the reason for this in a second, right here. So here we're at the current downloads, and I managed to get 24 down to 21 downloaded okay, but now my downloads have halted. I wondered what was taking so long, and I looked and I found I'm out of storage. So it is crucial to actually avoid holding space for anything. So it was the right move to conserve space. And, as chat continues on with it, it's telling me this is normal for Google Takeouts. Some exports contain only metadata and only references. So I kept on with this. I double checked, delete all the folders, yes. If the folder contains only placeholders, JSON, or empty folders, delete the entire extracted folder. So I deleted 1 through 27 based on that. Quick check before deleting. I did that. And in the main takeout folder, that was the response that I was getting. And then I started getting 3 zips that are only folders and empty. Told me don't worry about it, so I didn't worry about it. This is normal. The problem came later. This wasn't exactly normal. And at this point, chat didn't tell me, please tell me any known issues with File Explorer or Google Takeout. Um, uh, and so I found out that there are these issues with Google Takeout and File Explorer later as I started telling chat problems. So moving forward, I guess the tip would be ask, are there any known errors which would make the file size come up as 0, where I'm going to find it later? So I'm going to pause here for a second and pull up. So here's a critical moment. I asked chat, it is really suspicious that I haven't found anything in 20 sets of zips. It had suggested looking inside the zip prior to extraction. And so my response to this was that I'm concerned that I might miss something if I see nothing under the zip columns. And so this was its reassurance to me because I still hadn't actually asked the question the right way yet. So it told me, do not trust what you see by just clicking the zip. Windows Preview can show 0 KB incorrectly or fail to display contents properly. The correct fast check is do this for a suspicious zip. Right click, open with the Explorer, or double click and look inside. So this is an example of opening with Explorer and double clicking inside. So let's see. Uh, let's do this with video 17. So I've opened it with Explorer, double clicked inside. Right click, open with Explorer, right click, open with Explorer, and what it just told me to do didn't exactly work. So let's step back and walk through this and recreate the problem that I was having. Open with Explorer or double click, look inside. I see Google Photos and it's still saying 0. What it's telling me I should see is JPEG, and PNG. This still turned out to be wrong. And then I started getting an unspecified error, which chat told me to ignore, which wasn't accurate. It told me do not rely on the size column or unspecified. Do the fast double click to explore what's inside. Let's change the view here so that we can see. Let's change it to the list view. Let's change it to the details view. So under the details view, File Explorer is still telling me that the size of the contents in this folder is 0. It's not true though. Okay, that folder it is true for. Let me show you. Okay, that one's too. Okay, let's find one that's not making me a liar. Okay, I'm having a really hard time proving my point with this one because it's accurate with these. So let's see. Um, these are just nested. I swear to you, there are examples where that is not true. Let's try in 64. See if I can replicate the problem. I unfortunately had deleted all of these files, so I couldn't show you from the night that it was happening. So it's telling you here that Google Photos is unspecified, has 0. It's telling you that the archive is empty. And so when I open it, it actually isn't, which is in contrast to what chat had been telling me. And so that's how I got in the situation where after extracting parts 1 through 27 from my Google Takeout, I went in, found nothing, and deleted them. So chat's still telling me I'm not. And this is where the problem escalates. I continued like that. I just found out, I don't know if it is true of many folders, But although it seemed like the folder was empty because it showed nothing its size, when I clicked on the folder, they were full. So now Child starts explaining what the glitch is, what the problem is. What happened, Explorer does not calculate folder size inside zips properly, so it shows empty, unspecified, but actually contains files. So this gives us the new rule. Never judge a zip by size column, unspecified, or folder preview. Let me reiterate so that you don't have to go through what I went through. Don't trust what it's telling you when they're empty. The only reliable method is to look inside. So the workarounds that chat gave me, they didn't work for this situation. And so now it starts giving you the explanation of why you can't trust when it tells you that the contents are zero. Inside Google Takeout, Explorer does not show files properly. Even JPEG may also appear as nothing, empty folders, or blank listings. So you always have to extract before deciding. Point one, but that's not even still fully out there at where we are right now. Chat's still giving me reassurances that this is the problem until I get a bit more graphic with it. You have to remember you're talking to a computer. It's kind of like talking to a 4-year-old. You ask them if they ate lunch. They could say no. What is lunch? If you start thinking about them. If you ask them, did you have a sandwich? They would say yes. If you ask, did you have some fruit? They would say yes. They ask, did you have some milk? They would say yes. This is what you're referring to when you ask a child, a 4-year-old, have you had lunch? If they have a million different ways of looking at what lunch is, that child could say no. They're not being difficult. It's just you haven't approached it in a way that makes sense to them. They might have this idea that lunch was that day that you made hot macaroni and cheese, some steamed kale, and had a protein shake. And you said, today for lunch, we're going to have, they might take that as lunch is always going to be the protein shake, the kale, and the home baked macaroni and cheese. The sandwich in the afternoon, that's not lunch. Lunch isn't necessarily a time of day. I can get up at 5 in the morning and eat breakfast at 6 in the morning, have lunch at 9 in the morning, and have dinner at noon. For other people, because of the time of the day, that is not that meal. So when you're thinking about talking to a computer, you have to always be thinking to give really clear steps. So I began to understand that about 9 hours into the process, after having deleted 27 takeout downloads and extractions. So, one, I download. Two, I extract. Three, open folder. Four, click on takeout. Five, click on Google Folders. Then the folders are visible for 2015, etc. But at this point, it still shows nothing in file size or file type. I have been deleting at this point per chat's instructions. This time I clicked on 2016 and now the files and file sizes show up. Now chat understands what I've said and it says, yes, that's exactly the issue. And what I've discovered is that the files are nested one level deeper than you thought. So after extraction, you must click year 2016, then you see actual files. Why you see it empty at this level, it's only the folders, no files shown. It looks empty, but actually files are inside each year's nested folder. So it gives me new steps. And for each, I now have to go inside. This is not an option for me. Again, let me show you. Oops, what happened? Because let me show you what's going. Why does it not want to show me that? Hmm. Well, let's pause for 1 second and figure out how to show you that. So this is an example of why it's not working for me that I have to open each of these files now to see what's inside and to extract it. This is supposed to be an automated process which allows me to go through the millions of files I have. If I have to open every single one of these, that's impossible. It's not helped me. I'm back to the old problem, magnified even because of how Google structures its downloads. So I get back into the conversation with chat, and it again keeps explaining things to me, which you can tell that you don't want as many explanations. But in this process, I've been letting it be overly chatty, even though it doesn't annoy me. So the problem is, and it says this needs one correction. I found that it needs 8 corrections, and it just tells you that because there's something in human psychology that's programmed in that we possibly don't like to see the full picture at one time. I hate that. I want to see all 10 options. I don't want to go and be spoon-fed, but this is the way it works unless you tell it, give me all possibilities at one time. So the problem is you ran the script too high or in the wrong folder. So too high would mean what's going on there? Hmm, why am I getting ignored here? Okay. So in this instance, it's saying that when I ran it at, let's say, Google Takeout level, okay, I wouldn't run it here by clicking on the black and then applying the code from my code document. That would be too high a level. So the level that I actually ran it at was here inside the takeout. And for the first zip that I unlocked, that was fine. For the second, it wasn't. So this would be too high a level. So when chat's telling you you need to go down one level, I'm going down. Another subfolder, I'm in takeout. So if I apply it here, it's also too high of a level, I discovered. So then when I open it here, it's an option. Just for fun, let's see what happens. So let's copy the script because mostly I've been talking today. Uh, so right click or double click if you're on the touch screen pad. Click on Open in Terminal and paste the code. Press Enter, let it run. From this level, it tells me from the Google Photos level, it's created the images and the miscellaneous folder. So let's go back into the folder. Let's check that out. Scroll down. Images are here. This folder is empty. And let's check miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is also empty. So for some reason, we're still not in the right level. So let's delete these two folders. Let's try running the code one step higher. I think the unfortunate thing that's probably going to work, and I don't want it to work because that means we need a code correction. Okay, that folder is empty. Um, okay, that's empty. Let's find a folder with something in it first because I don't believe that all of these folders are empty. They don't often seem to be. And this is also an illustration of why you don't want to be in a position where you have to go through each folder in your download. That's just, it's not going to work. Okay, it might be in this instance that these are all empty. But what I'm going to try is I'm going to go up one more level. So I'm going to go here to the Google Photos level. I'm going to open in Terminal. I'm going to apply the code. It's now created the two folders inside this level. It's telling me the folders have nothing in them, which is possible. It's empty. Maybe this is actually an example of an empty. I don't trust that because of my experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my work list from yesterday of where I dropped off. And so where did we stop yesterday? Let's see. A folder that for sure has, let's go to 76. 76 is our final folder. Uh, Click on extract all. And it looks like since I emptied the trash, my Google Downloads is coming back online. Let's go over there and check what's happening there. I see out of storage. But I don't believe I'm out of storage anymore because I emptied the recycle bin. Let's open up full download history. And so we have the failed disk full. On the three dots on the right, let's click resume. Hmm. Yeah, that's not. So let's. Hmm, that's confusing. So let's cancel this. First, let's go inside the Windows menu and let's clear space. There's another way of doing this. Free up disk space. I don't want to chat about it, so what have I done wrong? So this is should be 20. Rename that. It, it is down. Okay. So now that you can see when it's downloading right here where you have the arrow pointing down inside the circle, and you can see that there's a light blue outline partially. This light blue outline, it's showing us, it's our progress bar, it's our progress circle, it's showing you where it is. So when it's lit and there's some color in it, that's how you know that the download's happening and it progresses accordingly. If it's just gray, it's missing the color, it's not downloading. So, okay, now that we're back in action, We have folder part 76, which should be extracted. I'm not seeing the extracted. Ah, here I am. Okay, because you don't see the zipper on it anymore, it's now extracted. So we're gonna double click on that to open it. We're now inside the takeout folder. We're going to click with two fingers on on the mouse bar or right click if you're using a mouse. We're going to click on Open Terminal. And now we're going to paste the code in, press Enter. Now it's telling us that in the Takeout folder, hmm, cannot create a file when that file already exists. Move item. Hmm. Okay, so let's close the terminal and see what's happened. Okay, maybe I pressed twice. Let's see if anything's in this. Oh, yeah, there's a lot in there. Okay, so now that we are in 76, let's pull up. Why? What is that saying to me? Okay, so we have an images folder. We have Google Takeout here. And what I'm going to do is click inside the black space inside the images for 76. I'm going to do Control A. That's Control All. It means select all. And now that I have all of these selected, the next step is going to be moving them into my master image file, which is here. So remember, we placed our archive work inside documents so that we don't affect the performance of the computer. I'm double clicking on archive, and inside sorted, we have images master. So one way of doing this, which is my preferred way, is I'm just going to take these images over. I'm not even going to open the images master. I'm just going to roll over it, drop the file inside. And to help me keep track of things, I'm going to recycle an envelope by just writing what I've extracted and placed images and miss. So here we have some duplicates. They're always going to be an issue. And I like to take a look at these because I do not know. I already see that there's a problem because although the files have the same name, they're different file sizes. And also from the thumbnail, you can see differences. So I don't know why this is. So I'm going to go with cancel. And I'm going to say, let's skip these files, which means they're going to remain in that images folder. Because this has been happening annoyingly, and I don't really have a workaround for it just yet. You know what I could ask chat, and we can try this with the next batch. I could ask chat, um, if we can create a code to run in terminal, which allows adding a an extension of one or two or copy to the file name as it's moving it, as it's yeah, as it's moving it into the images folder to eliminate this step because this step is coming up too often. We have 76 folders to extract from in just Google Drives. That excludes dealing with Google Mail with folders that are in emails, images, and files that are in emails that need to be downloaded. This excludes iCloud. This excludes OneDrive and also the hard drive that I have images that I need to import from. So it would be helpful to have this. The workaround for now is that because I haven't created that code yet in ChatGPT, I have created two duplicate folders. But even with the duplicate folders, this is already becoming this is already becoming a problem that sometimes there's still another image by that name. So, okay. Okay. For some reason, it didn't change the name. So, whatever. I go back in here, Control A, and I'm going to drag these guys over here. Okay, it did change the name finally. And it's 100 images that this has come up for. Mm. So, again, we bump into a problem. And let's try them in dupes too. Ugh, Jesus. And we still have one image that it's having a problem with. I'm just going to manually change the name of this and add an underscore one because it just can't be doing this. Um, okay, so that moves that there. And we're going into the miss file, also full of things. So that part of the operation was successful. It's just if you're going to do something like this and have it automated so that it's a viable functional solution, it needs to move everything when you do this. Um, love sitting on my bounce ball, get some core work in. Also, finding it's better for, oh gosh, 87 files. Let's just skip them. 87 files. So now we have the duplicate problems in miss as well. So let's create a miss dupes and hope that this next query with chat allows us to, okay, that worked, allows us to eliminate this problem. So on my checklist, because it's just too many windows and screens open, and it's nice to have neurologically to have some hand-eye coordinated action. So this was folder 76, and I can check that images are extracted and moved into sorted. Miscellaneous is extracted and moved into sorted. So now we're going to try to describe the problem that I just had with chat as best as possible. Okay, so file organization. And let's begin new chat because there was quite a lot already. Um, File organization session 3, please, and refer to previous points and actions. Okay, let's see what it has to say about. Okay, let's treat file organization 3 as the point where we look structure plus begin controlled sorting where the chaos, you already made a key decision. And I'm also going to tell chat, please refrain from long answers. Be mindful of water wasted in AI cooling systems and talking less. I do not need constant paraphrasing of what has been accomplished. I would like short, direct answers only. Reset RX. Yes, much better. Still, you know what? Let's plug the battery in. Uses a lot of juice, all this. It's always good to be mindful of the issues of AI and the environment because these are climate justice issues. They're not taking water from wealthy nations. Okay, I'm going to use voice to speech. Allow while visiting the site. I am still having a problem with the file sorting. At this point, we're working with the two main folders of images and miscellaneous. I have seen that there are a lot of duplicates coming up, which slows down the process. I would like a code to insert into the terminal, which automatically adds a _1 or copy to duplicate images so that I can still select all in one go and move them into the images folder. There are a lot of duplicate names, and this is slowing things down. Okay. One auto renames duplicates while moving. Okay. Repeat for other formats by changing .jpeg. What it does, keeps original name if no contact, no overwrite, no errors. Say if you want a single command for image types at once. Uh, yes to single command. I would like power bank command to move to images and miss and and auto rename duplicates now. Okay. Use a single command, all image types plus auto rename duplicates. So now I'm going to copy what this is. And I made some changes to the document. I was storing all of the codes that we've had before, but last night there was a moment where chat was trying to separate everything out, including images and audio, video, and docs. It wasn't successful. There were some glitches with how the code was handled, so I decided to clean up the code document, and now I'm just going to replace this old code that wasn't doing this, and I've copied that. Now we can go in and chat has a copy box. You can see it's copied into your clipboard there. And paste. And then I'm going to highlight that so that it's just ready for me to copy from here out. Okay. So there's a good chance that this isn't going to work the first time. Okay. So now we've gone through number 76. Because of space, we have to delete things as we use them. So here's 76. Here's, okay, so 76, delete, and 76, delete. Okay, so that's crossed off our list. Well, what are we gonna do now? Let's go for 75. Um, so 75, extract all, click enter. You don't need to browse for a new file location because it's just going to go to wherever the file is held unless you change that. Let's avoid steps. Never change that. We decided where things wanted to be. We decided the process for how things move. So that is extracting now. Can drink some water. Okay. Okay, so we have 75 here. Where are you? Ah, okay. Here's 75. We go to the takeout level. We're going to click into the black space, click open in terminal. You can see we're in the terminal. Huh. You're about to paste text that contains multiple lines. If you paste this text into your shell, it may result in unexpected execution of MIT. Okay, I'm going to tell chat about this error. Let's cancel. Let's try again. Okay. Okay, so let's tell chat we're getting a warning. Let's close the sidebar so we have better visibility. So I told chat I'm getting a warning. Do I proceed? Yes, this warning appears because of multiple line bash dash C block. It's expected. Just press enter. Yes, continue, depending on your terminal. So paste anyway. I don't understand what's happened. I find it's really difficult to copy anything inside the terminal. Let's see if that worked. You're in a PowerShell, not Bash. Use this instead. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what I'm in, chat, I'm telling you. And this is it's interesting to learn all of the navigation of language. So let me copy this. I'm going to test it before I put it in my document just to get the warning anyway, see what happens. Uh, yeah, I guess experience has taught me that, Jesus, it's a lot to copy. Certain pleasure in copying it though, and have come to the point where now I can do this without freaking out. I mean, it's like a little bit stressful when you have a computer screaming red at you. You know red is warning. That's like a primal image. Fix, run first. Okay, so copy, run first. Let's get back down to the bottom. Run first. Okay, let's see. Then run again. Same command. Okay. Huh. I don't know if I did that right. It said run again, same command. I just pressed enter. I'm not sure if that's the same as run again. Then run again, same command. Okay. Okay, that's not the same thing that we're seeing. Then run again. Then miss. That error will stop. Okay. Let's see. We do have images now, and we do have miss. The images folder is suspiciously empty, which means miss should be as well because miss is generally JSON. And and let's just see what's going on with the takeout, if this is actually true. No, it's bullshit. So let's continue talking to chat. Oops. Let's get back to where we were. The error stopped and the folders were created. Images and miss folders were empty. Inside takeout, one level down in, let's see, was that one level down? One level down in Google Photos, there were three folders, all still full. You're one level too high. Go into the folder first. Okay, so I'm not sure I believe that, but which the communication error is on my part. I'm still learning. How do you talk to this guy? How do you make him understand what you're saying? Because he's doing exactly what I'm saying. I just don't understand the words I'm using or how I'm arranging them. This is part of the dance that you play in this situation. So go into the correct folder first. Okay, take out Google Photos. Yeah, why not? Open terminal, paste, enter. Cannot find path. Oops. So when you're selecting in the terminal the error messages, you'll be able to highlight it like this. But what I found is that it goes back to being the text goes back to being deselected. You have to use the command keys. You can't right click on it. So you have to press Control C after you've selected it. So let's double click on the pad and paste and press enter. You likely don't have the extra takeout folder. Find the correct path, run. Feel like we're going down the wrong road, but since I'm completely in the dark here, that's possible. Get child item. Okay. I'm gonna copy this and tell chat what it said. Yesterday, I was working it in a way like I hadn't discovered that if I press string C, it selects because it was looking to me like it wasn't. And so that for me was saying, nope, it's not. Good, you're here. Go into it. PowerShell, Google Photos. I'm going to close this terminal that I'm working on just on instinct. It might go into it. PowerShell, Google Photos. Open terminal. Okay. Got Google Photos. Then check inside. Get child. Okay. You should have three folders. Uh-huh. Then create folders here. Okay. Paste anyway. Then create folders here. Then run the command again. Which command? Please show. You shouldn't say please, it's a waste of water. Run this images plus auto rename. Okay. Good thing that chat has stayed with us. I'm going to close that off again. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Open in terminal. and paste. Maybe closing it was the problem. Let's try this sequence again. So start with Google Photos. And since we're running this again, let's start from the top. Open in Terminal, Google Photos. Okay, got that. Then go into Google Photos, paste, enter. Well, let's see if, yeah. Aha. No, just deleted it, so get child item. Okay, back on track somehow. Then create folders here. Okay, then create folders here. Then run the move command again. Let's try that. Okay. Okay, so we've got Google folders, we've got images, which got an empty folder. That did not work. The folder was created, but the images were not moved. I'm going to suggest that we start from scratch. And, thinking about communication, this is an instance where proper grammar might help. We want this and images folders. No duplicate renaming and files moved into these two folders. Okay, so I'm going to go up a level, going to delete that. Okay. Getting slightly frustrated with this process. When it's going, it's amazing. I mean, I've gone through dozens of folders, but you do reach issues. It's an inevitability. I mean, the fascination is, wow, this is what we can do with technology. Okay, so from inside Google Photos, so I've opened that up, open in Terminal. I'm going to paste this there, Press enter. Whole lot of bad command issues. So let's grab all this pretty red. String C. Before we paste that into chat, let's see, yeah, where did maybe it create? No, that's metadata JSON. Photos from 22. They're still in there. 2022. Oh, God. What a year. Yeah, nothing happened. PowerShell is losing the destination path. Use full paths. Run this exactly. Should I open and close the terminal window first before pasting this? No, just make sure you're in the correct folder. Okay. Yep. And Google Photos. You know, the difference between how chat talks to you when you tell it be succinct, it is noticeable. It is kind of off-putting. You're not there with somebody holding your hand, even in this artificial um, learnt manners way. And I do find the adjustment a bit of a thing. Oh, no. I'm gonna go up one level and try uh-huh, that's where it's landing, but it's empty. Before I ask chat, because I feel like sometimes we wind up, I just have a feeling about it that because of the communication issues, um, it's sometimes good to try an option on my own before I ask chat to change something again. Yeah, that just doesn't work. So the folders appeared one level higher in Takeout. The folders were not populated by the extracted content in Google Photos. You're still in the wrong folder when running the script. Go exactly here, then confirm, must end with Google Photos. Okay. It seems so severe when it talks to you that way. Okay, so take out. So go exactly here. Google Photos. Let's see. Cannot find path user, Google Photos. So I'm not in the right place. So I need to go inside Google Photos. And let's try that from here in the terminal. Cannot find path University Takeout because it does not exist at line 1, character 1. I am in Google Photos, but still this is message. So frustrated at this point. You are already inside Google Photos. Stop running. That's why it arrows. You're doubling the path. Okay. Stop running. This is too big. Let's make this a little smaller so I can manage both apps at the same time. Okay, so here, this should stop running. And then do this confirm location. Let's confirm location. The difference, I mean, we'll see. The difference should be that a human would be getting really annoyed with me right now. Good, you're in the right place. Yay! Okay, now run this. I can't believe it. I didn't think I was going to get there. I was starting to get so worried. Um, you know what? Also, I'm just noticing, and this could be a bit of an issue. All of these are open. I'm not sure that's helping our cause. So let me just close them. Okay, and stay with where we are. Okay, so now I have copied that from and paste anyway and enter. Could not find a path. This is crazy town. So take out Google Photos, archive, could not find a path. I don't feel like copying anymore. So it's enough. Fix enable long paths in this session. Run this first. Okay. So this The path was too long. Windows didn't like that. So now we have something that should help enable Windows to do that. Then close PowerShell. Okay, so maybe that instinct to open and close. Reopen it, go back into let's fix the size of that down a bit again. Okay. Go back into copy and paste. Reopen it, go back into Google Photos. Then run the image script again. Okay. Give script again. Shouldn't this be for image, miss, and duplicate renaming? Yes, this handle images, duplicates, and everything else miss. Okay. Auto rename. Paste anyway. Enter. And we're in the red. Everything else miss. Did I press enter? Okay, a whole lot of red. Do you need to see the error message? What is going wrong? Is this a communication issue between a non-technical human, between you and I, because I am not technical? Short answer, not your fault. Main issue, Windows path length plus OneDrive path plus nested folders. That could not find part of path is almost always path too long or file liked by OneDrive. Okay, fast fix, no registry, reliable. Move the whole folder to the shorter path first. In Explorer, move, go to Photos. There are going to be dozens more photos. Uh, Zips. I cannot do this for each. Um, should I disconnect from OneDrive or a simpler solution? Oh, God, this is annoying. This is where I'm working with a human. Why did this work for 20 other folders? I still don't like this solution. Why did this process work for dozens of zips and extracted folders. Before I go on with moving everything to see temp work, I would like to know because we already created folders. It worked before because those zips had shorter paths, fewer nested folders. Now you have deeper folder structure. Google Takeout is messy. OneDrive path already long. Duplicates, longer files. This pushes you over Windows path limits, causes this error. That makes sense. Why folders were created but nothing moved. Script ran, but moves failed silently due to path length. You have two options, clean and scalable. Open option A, recommended. Work outside OneDrive, short path, reliable. Okay. Yeah, I like that. It makes sense to me now. So, okay. If you stay in OneDrive, you'll keep hitting this randomly. If you want to move to short path, it just works. Say, stay here. I optimize for partial success. Hmm. Okay, now that's a big decision to have to make here because um I want to get through this problem. It makes perfect sense that at this point in time, what's happening is that those initial folders that I was working through were not deeply nested. This isn't an error. And also, I know that chat knows this because those initial folders, I I unzipped, extracted, and showed them. I uploaded them into Chat GPT. So Chat saw exactly what the nested structure was. Okay, I don't want partial success. I want fully automated. So we're going to switch system. I want fully automatic. Okay. So we're moving from OneDrive into create working folder once. Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, I need more instructions. So I'm going to tell chat that the way it's organizing information isn't working for me. It's making it too complex. I need a shorter chain of actions from you. Right now, I see that you have one, two, three, and I need you to stop after each step for me to check in because that's just a little too much information for me to process. I also don't understand. You're saying to go into PowerShell with this code. Are you saying that I need to do this in the folder that we created inside archive underscore work? Um, and this would be the Google Takeout folder that I'm working in. Are you saying that that's where I need to enter this PowerShell code in step one, create working folder once? Let me know so that we can get started. Moments like this, I think it makes a whole lot more sense to just say it all out because I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like it was so nice in the early bits when it was simple. Good. We'll go one step at a time. Step one, only this. Open PowerShell anywhere. Location does not matter. Okay? I don't believe you. I feel like I'm going to get an error. And since I don't believe you, I'm going to back it up to here, and I'm going to open PowerShell. Open in terminal. I really wish that PowerShell would maintain the aspect ratio that I give it when I adjust it. I know this sounds like such a simple thing. It's not. Um, okay, so open PowerShell anywhere. Location does not matter. So click on copy, paste, we get the warning message. Okay. What this does, this creates a clean workspace outside OneDrive. Creates a place to put all your zip files. Your action now, run the command, confirm no errors, tell me done. Then I go to step two. Okay, gonna start with a question. Before we go to step two, I ran the command. I didn't get any red spam errors issues. When you say my action now, run the command, confirm no errors, then tell you done. Which command are you saying that I need to run? I need clarity on that. Is the command that I manually move all of the download takeout folders that I have that are now in my OneDrive Documents D? What is the command? I need clarification. Press the check, enter, and here we go. Good question. And you already did it correctly. The command was, you already ran it. That step is done. Clarification, there's no command yet to move files. Next step will be you manually move your zip files. Okay, I understood what was going on. Okay, so just reply done. Then I give you two. Okay, whew. So let's just drop chat bar for a second here. Hmm. Okay, so I am currently inside my OneDrive. Where I need to be is my desktop home. Okay, so the documents folder that I'm using right now, that's it's my OneDrive documents folder. So I need to go to the home folder in my C drive. Huh, I don't know how to do that. How do you find? Well, it's just so inexorably linked because I back everything up to OneDrive. That's my entire working system. I'm going to have to ask chat for a little bit more help with this because I feel out of my depth. There's no command yet to move files. You already ran it. That is done. So just simply next step. There's no command yet to move files. Next step will be you manually move your zip files. You already ran it. That step is done. So go with done. Whew, this is hard work. Manually move your zip files into C temp zips. Do this in File Explorer. Okay, this is making me really anxious. And so it's good that you're giving me slightly longer answers right now. The anxiety is that the way my laptop is structured, my documents folder is my OneDrive University of Glasgow documents folder. So it is my OneDrive. When I click on home, I see um, I see my OneDrive University of Glasgow pinned. I see my downloads, which are sorted locally. I see my desk drive. These are all my quick access. I don't really know where my C drive is. How do I find that so that I'm not just shoveling files from what I thought was OneDrive back into OneDrive? I need help locating my desktop, please. Not my desktop. I need help locating my C drive documents. How can I do that? I'm really enjoying using voice to speech. Um, my disability support person had trained me to use Dragon, and I feel a bit tongue-tied often when I get into these situations, so I wasn't really going for it. It's nice that as hard as the situation is, it's bringing me back to things that I've learned that support with my disability issues. You're okay. This is just navigation, not risk. Step two, finding C drive. Open File Explorer. In the left sidebar, click this PC. Okay. You know, I'm assuming this is File Explorer. Let me see. Um, okay. File Explorer. The left sidebar, click this PC. Oh, ooh, that's pretty full. I only have 125 gigabytes free. Um, is that going to withstand this process? And the address bar top C forward slash. I'm going to have to circle back. Let's make a note of this. Clear up space in C drive. Okay, but before that, so copy that in the address bar, paste. Huh, now I see the temp. Then right click new folder, name it temp. Oh, that's so dead cool. I already have a folder named temp work and it's empty. Oh, I have two folders named temp. Okay. It says I don't have permission. Whatever. I've got my temp. When you see temp work, I see temp. Where's the, that's the wrong way, the backstroke. Temp. With work, not zip. Um, okay. I already see two temp folders. let's just back up so that we can describe this properly. So that one, which is lowercase temp, the other begins with a capital T, temp, and there is a system temp. I feel so stupid needing to ask these questions. Good. Don't touch system ones. Use this one. C underscore temp. Ignore temp. Okay. Make sure you have work and zips. Okay. So I have work. We need to add zips. Okay. If not, create them manually. Done. Okay. Step 3. Go to your OneDrive folder where the zip files are. Drag only the .zip files into. Do not move folders, only .zip. Okay. So that's in Google Takeout. I should be able to put .zip. String A and move those into zips. Huh. Okay. Problem. Good catch. Stop the issue. C drive is full. Cannot proceed with this method safely. We switched to your D drive. You mentioned you have one? No, I don't. No D drive on this one. I have to safely clean up. Could I remove storing OneDrive for the present? Don't remove OneDrive, just pause it temporarily. Click the cloud icon, click settings, pause sync. Okay. Settings. Um, Sync it back up. Pause syncing, pause syncing. Um, okay. Files will be backed up. What has been changed? So I don't want my files synced. I want them pause syncing. Let's say for 24 hours. Your files are not currently syncing. Okay. So now do this next. In OneDrive folder, right click large folders. Okay. God, this is stressful. Um, okay, that's our temps. Well, this file is enormous. Let's free up space. Oh my God. This could not be 475 gigabytes. Could not be. It could be. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of space. To actually free space, do this next. Right-click large folders, select free up space. This keeps files in cloud but removes local copies. Okay, I mean, that is enormous, that folder. Okay, give it some space there for its spinning activities. Okay, I think we have done that. Let's try again. As always, let's empty the trash too. That might be, yeah, I want to empty it. Let's try again. Same problem. Okay, so maybe that just didn't happen the whole way through before. 12,919 items. That's all. JPEG, PNG. DSC files, audio files, video files. Wow. Okay. Um, let's see what else can we free up space with. Let's just go through a few things. Okay, there's nothing to free up there. There's space to free up there in audiobooks. Don't see any action happening with that though. Let's free up space in costume, fashion, and sewing. Let us free up space in boxes. I don't even understand why underscore Helen is on here. Free up space. Ugh. Yeah, this is massive. Let's free up space. Um, Free up space. Yeah, my PhD file's massive. Free up space. Free up space. And let's see what chat tells us about the fastest way to identify the biggest folders. As always, PowerShell. I didn't know what PowerShell was 2 days ago. Open PowerShell and run. Open in terminal. That's University of Glasgow. Warning. Run. Enter. Jesus. Okay. Then in File Explorer, go to OneDrive. See what the top 2 to 3 largest folders are. Jeez. Astrophotos all documents. Okay, so let's go to documents. Free up space. Okay. All this to execute some steps. But that's what the process actually is when you are Working on something as large as Grant is organizing all of your files. It's no small feat. And when I think about all the times that I have stopped and started and not really managed, these are the kinds of problems that you run into. And I have generally been working on these types of file organizations at moments where I actually need something. I put everything on hold. I don't know how long this is going to take, but it's the Easter holiday. I only have plans on Saturday, and for my health, well-being, and prosperity, this is what I actually need to focus on. And it's the most beautiful, liberating feeling. My workspace is kind of it's worked in and it feels a little bit chaotic on some levels. But I'm looking around and I've changed my attitude about how I look at this situation. The reason why there are piles of things everywhere is that they're all being used. This is my work. And I'm really happy to have this room as a workspace. It's a game changer for my physical, mental, and professional well-being. So I can grab anything and get to working on it at any point in time. Not so good for my morning workout sessions, but I managed to put down a yoga mat and be fine in here working out. I think that this video is already 2 hours and 31 minutes. Um, Maybe I'm gonna take a little pause break and come back in part two after this space has been cleared. I guess this is part three technically, and jump back in where we left off. This has been fun. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next part of the video because we're only at 99% complete of one folder, and it still needs another 5 seconds, but it's been saying that for a bit, so I think it really needs more than 5 seconds. And I'll get back to you once this is over.